Good. No, thank you.
No. Sure, Captain, thank you.
Just that short.
There you go.
You want to share?
No, thanks. Okay, we're all set.
We're on, recording in progress.
Did you start it on your end?
I'm started here, audio and video on.
Huh?
Audio and video's on.
Okay.
Okay, you're good to go?
Yep.
Yep.
All right, good evening, everybody. Let's start. We're a couple minutes late. Apologize for a little delay. Welcome to the June 12th, 2025 meeting of the Newington Board of Fire Commissioners. The time now is 7:04. Please rise for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we please have a moment of silence for all our fallen. Thank you.
Amen.
Amen. Attendance is all set. Approval of prior meeting minutes of May 8th, 2025.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes of May 8th. I will second.
All in favor? Aye. Public participation for the first time. Anybody from the public would like to speak? Now's your opportunity. There'll be a second opportunity at the end of the meeting. Is anybody online?
No.
Nobody online? Any public participation for the first time? Public participation going once, twice? Thank you. There'll be no remarks by commissioners on public participation since there wasn't any. Communications, monthly reports.
Monthly reports. I have reports this evening from Chief Trump, Chief Lapierre, Chief Regina, and Chief Gina Sandy. One of the things that I want to point out with Chief Stegmeier's report, I would like to let everyone know that in congratulating Dan Rodriguez from Company 1 has been appointed Staff Lieutenant in the Buildings and Apparatus Division. Also, Nico Carlone appointed to the Captain's position in the Communications Division. And the appointment of Jay Lapierre to Captain for Personnel. So congratulations to these three gentlemen. I also have the Fire Marshal's report. And DJ, you want to touch on your report for this month?
Sure. So we inspected very well. A couple of the big things right now. I know it's June, but worth talking about. We're doing the Newington housing buildings, and we've actually identified an issue that the ovens are malfunctioning and actually letting heat escape out the sides. And we found quite a few of the same oven that are causing scorch burns on the cabinets. So that's kind of, that's a win in our category that we were able to.
And that is in one certain location, DJ.
It's throughout all three properties that Newington Housing manages. So they must have bought the same stove however many years ago, and over time it's degrading. So a couple of the big construction projects that are going on are the Culver Street apartments. They're doing a lot of site work, and I believe they have one foundation in now. The Spark is now under construction. They're doing all of their site work up on Myra Cohen. And the permit for John Wallace has been issued, so that's going to be starting pretty much the day after school gets out. There's a new fire alarm at Tabletop Gaming. We got a couple events coming up. Newington Goes Country was tonight. Craig and Anthony did probably about 20 food truck inspections. There's stuff going on Friday at the high school with food trucks for Newington soccer project graduations coming up. And then obviously the extravaganza. And a couple of the special things. We're working on taking the plans that we have saved, however many years worth of paper plans, and getting them scanned. At least some of the important floor plans, and that will actually help several departments. They'll be available electronically. We're going to be working with the Board of Ed over the summer to update their fire drill process and how they're conducted.
Great. Thank you. Any of the, before you continue, any of the other chiefs want to comment on their monthly reports? Any highlights or anything, chief? Chiefs?
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it.
Ledger status.
Ledger status? Commissioner.
I looked over, it looks like we spent all our money, Chief. Pretty much.
Yes and no. Right now, it's on hold, so. Commissioner Whalen will talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah. I'd like to thank the chiefs for doing a great job with this year's budget. There is some things that we have no control over. It's all dependent on the cost. We could have a hurricane come through this town and, you know, we'll have a ton of calls. It's very call dependent, and we can't pick a number what our calls are. We can usually only go off an average over an average of 20 years, but still that can be thrown out. So that part of the budget is very tough to predict. So with that said, I'd like to have a motion on the ledger status.
I'll make a motion to accept it.
I will second.
All in favor? Thank you. Anything on your budget? BJ, all good?
No, my budget's fine. Good.
Okay, thank you. Old business. Space needs for company 3 and 4. Chief, any comments?
Yes, the building committee met, once already. And we also did a tour of company 3 and the company 4s. So you could see the actual space needs that the department is looking at. I believe, there's a meeting coming up, 3rd Wednesday and 4th Thursday, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Going forward, and then that'll be on a monthly basis.
Okay, thank you. I know I attended one of them and it was going very well. Committee seems very anxious to get it going. Firehouse inspections. That is, I got your email. Can you remind me of that date?
On June 19th.
June 19th. Okay, June 19th, we'll be doing the firehouse inspection.
At what time?
2 p.m. is what's currently scheduled, but Mr. Whalen says you may have a scheduling conflict because of work, so I was gonna talk with you gentlemen tonight.
Yeah.
And see if we can nail down a better time.
Okay. Thank you. Roof prop, Chief Regina gave me an update on the roof prop. It is tentative for still July, so
For June.
for June. Okay, for June. Appointment of company captains and lieutenants for July. The process is ongoing. We had some great candidates partake in the process. That's all we can comment on that right now. To add anything to that?
No.
Okay, fire marshal's office rules and regulations, that is in progress. Okay, moving on, new business. I'd like to discuss the rules and regulations that have opened and reviewed.
Okay.
Commissioner.
I'm all in favor of opening that up,
Okay,
with the commission. So
All right,
We need to set a date.
we'll set a date with that and we'll start reviewing and updating the rules and regulations along with the chiefs of the department.
How's that sound? Perfect.
Commissioner? Okay.
Okay.
Somehow this fell off, so we're putting it back on under a new business, update on new engine two.
So we should be starting to get, some photos, I believe, in the next 2 weeks. If everything goes right, and then, still delivery of August of this year. Or that's I shouldn't say that. It's just scheduled anticipation for completion is August. Probably delivery in sometime in September.
Okay.
Is what I'm looking for.
So like a 20-yard line.
Yeah, like I said, we'll start seeing stuff at the end of June, probably, pictures, the photos as it goes through its process.
Excellent. That's good news. Waiting a long time. All right, that's it for new business. We'll go back to public participation for the second time. Oh, can we make a motion to add something to new business?
Willing.
Okay, motion to add a letter from the commission to the town council.
Absolutely.
Someone make a motion, please.
I'll make the motion.
Second. All in favor? Okay, the Board of Fire Commissioners is, we discussed this at last month's meeting, and we are gonna send a letter to the mayor and town council. I'll read it respectfully. The Board of Fire Commissioners would like the town council to pass a resolution that the firehouse on Chapman Street, Old Company 3, is still a Newington firehouse building. We understand that all firehouses are owned by the town. Per the charter, the firehouses are the responsibility of the Board of Fire Commissioners for use, upkeep, and maintenance. Our records and the town clerk's records show Chapman Street Firehouse was never released to the town general government. The commissioner never gave up control of this firehouse. It was used for other fire purposes years ago, but was still a firehouse. Those other purposes were primarily storage, and at one point, it was leased to one of our firefighters for a fire truck. During the past 20 years, we have housed current fire equipment in that building and used it as a firehouse. The service truck and the trailer and the off-road fire vehicle is there now. The commission would like to resolve this issue. The department prides itself on preserving the history and historic value of this building. With all the changes in town government, the town's current town administration thinks it is not a firehouse and would like to use it for other town purposes. The Newington Fire Department was granted this charter in 1929 by state legislative act, and the board has control of all fire buildings. Please pass a resolution or whatever is required as soon as possible to resolve this issue. So with that read, I'd like to take a vote, a motion and a vote to send that to the
I'll make a motion.
mayor and town council.
I will make a motion that we forward this letter to the mayor and the town council.
And I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, very good. Thank you. Okay, close out new business. And we'll go on to public participation. Anybody from the public like to speak? Yes, Counselor. Right.
Pertaining to the letter that you just read, and a question I would have that you may want to consider, as you're reviewing that letter, what are the specific, it doesn't have the specific, what are the uses, for Old Company?
What are the,
I have my own feelings about Old Company.
I'm sure you do.
But I think there may be that may be a question that we asked, what are some of the proposed ideas? Will it be some type of museum as what is, what else might be going in there, what part of utilizing the building?
Keith, would you like to take that one?
Well, the old country street is gonna be used for storage of apparatus. We'd be using it for meeting space. We would definitely be restoring or holding on to excuse me, the history of that building. We're not trying to change the look of the building. We're just basically trying to make it weather tight and secure that building for storage needs for us as we need right now. If not, if that building was taken away from the fire department, we would actually have to store apparatus outside, which would cause significant issues with us in the long term. Age of the vehicle for the department, due to sitting in the weather and stuff like that. So our goal is just try to maintain it and keep it for storage and
For vehicle storage.
for vehicle storage. That's correct.
And it's, I mean, most of you probably know that it's within a historic district, and I didn't
Correct.
historic district for the town
Correct.
to begin with, and,
The Historical Society, I'm not even gonna try to guess what month it was. I believe it was September of last year. Did send us a letter, and we are, this commission voted and agreed to keep it a historic building, because originally that was stated to be ripped down. We agreed that it should be kept. It's part of Newington's history. It's a cute little firehouse. It's, fits in the neighborhood very nice, and it works out very good for us to store a couple pieces of our apparatus that otherwise would be outside, that are very expensive, and the longevity and the security of those pieces of apparatus will be compromised.
are they in old company for right now?
Yes, they are in Old Company 3 right now. Yeah. And they are online pieces. One of them's a brush truck with a trailer, and inside the trailer is a UTV, an all-terrain vehicle that's used throughout the town. It's used throughout many towns for mutual aid. Cedar Mountain, the busway. It's a great spot because that UTV can hit the busway for any hikers that fall or whatever. So,
I think it would be in our best interest to list those needs and wants in that letter also, to go to the town council of what the department's looking for.
okay,
Just to help with the decision making.
We can update it.
we can update it.
And the other thing, just so everybody's aware, that building is listed on the national, I believe it's the National Trees Service website, which is the historic site. That is in, it's in I have the paperwork that actually spells it out that that's a historic building listed for the town of Newington.
Yeah, that area, that particular historic district was identified quite a few years ago.
Correct.
Because when a group of us got together and put together kind of an historic buildings or historical working group, which we haven't met for a little bit of a while, but that was one of the things that we looked into, was the historic district, what those buildings were and which ones were or weren't identified at that point in time. And I can't remember how long ago, but I know we're talking a couple of decades.
Yeah, I have the paperwork of exactly when it was put into the historic, national historic part of it.
Okay, thank you. Anything else? Kim? Thank you for bringing that up. John?
The Montana for Company One, on the rules of regs, is that one of the ones that just adopted a few years ago?
So the last rules and regs were adopted in 2022. And, there's some things that we need to tweak in it.
Mission like you had last time?
No.
You're just gonna do it
No.
without yourself.
It is not gonna go to a committee. Well, the chiefs and the commissioners will review the, rules and regs and
Put out the changes.
Absolutely.
Okay, just so everybody's aware, the decision is done. Any changes that would be made, it has to be posted for 30 days for the members to actually see the changes.
That's
That's
in
just the change. That's actually part of the process. It actually has to be brought up at one of the commissioners' meeting. 30 days it's posted, then it's voted on at the next meeting.
Yeah.
So that's automatic.
It just seemed weird that you're doing it so quick. It's never been changed. 3 years after it was adopted, I've never seen one.
Yeah,
reopened.
there's a few things that have been brought up that need a little bit of tweaking, so we're gonna try to do our best. And
No major differences.
there's not gonna be a lot major, but there's a few things, some language cleanup and,
Things change.
yeah, things change. Thank you, John. Anybody else? Anybody else? Going once? Oh, okay. Nothing else under public participation will be closed. Thank you. Commissioners' remarks. Commissioner Stoddard.
Been rather busy lately, so but I'm glad we're going to the town council and letting them know that we want to get this issue resolved about the firehouses. But we think it's an issue that shouldn't have been created. And it was really created by the changes within the administration of the town. We have a lot of people in the administration. I think things have been running very well and keep it up. That's enough.
Mr. Durant.
Actually, I'm gonna reserve my comments. I'm gonna back off for a change.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you. Just want to echo the remarks of Commissioner, Kent Stoddard. You know, it's a great little building over on Chapman Street. It's very vital to us that we have our equipment in there. It's stored, it's secured. We know who's going in and out of there. If that building's opened up to whatever department that the town feels they need to put in there, lose our security for our equipment. We have worked very hard to secure all of our buildings with cameras, log fobs, so we know who's in and out of here. And we're not sure if that will happen at Chapman Street. It is tucked out in the way in the back, kind of off the beaten path a little bit. So we do not want to lose that security for our equipment. If it stays outside, the good money that we spend on this equipment that we fight hard to get, if it's good for 12 or 15 years, leave it outside, it's probably good for 6 or 7. We all know our cars stay outside and we know what happens to them in the winter with rust and everything else. So it is vital and very important for us to keep it and to keep the building an historical building. That's our main goal. So we will make sure we get that letter sent out.
Yep.
Like to wish everybody a great summer. Be safe. And
You want to expound upon our schedule for the summer?
yes, we will not be meeting in July, so there is no commissioners meeting in July. But we do have a commissioners meeting in August. So there is a commissioners meeting for August, so nothing for July.
Second Thursday as usual.
Second Thursday as usual. And with that said, I'd like to thank everybody for doing a great job in this department. And look forward to having another good, safe month. With that said,
So adjourn.
second, all in favor?
All right.
All right, thank you.